overall assessment and rankings, the Colts defense has been a pivotal contributor to the team's strong 4-1 start in the 2025 NFL season, maintaining its robust profile through Week 5 by allowing just 17.8 points per game, which ranks third in the NFL. They also hold the fifth position league-wide in defensive expected points added per play at negative 0.10, demonstrating consistent efficiency in curbing opponents' scoring chances relative to expectations. Over 5 games played, the defense has faced a total of 300 plays, averaging 60 per game, while yielding 302.2 yards per game overall, a figure near the league average. The unit has conceded 10 touchdowns total, with an overall yards per play of 4.3 and an expected points added per play of negative 0.10. Recent dominance is evident, such as limiting the Raiders to only 6 points in Week 5. The Colts ranked 15th on overall defensive performance against opponents, including points and yards allowed per game. The Colts' defense is solid relative to these teams, performing better than the group average in key efficiency metrics, though the averages are biased upward, meaning better, since they represent only the shown, presumably stronger defenses. For the Colts, over 5 games played, the points per game allowed is 18.8, yards per game allowed is 315.0, yards per play allowed is 5.3, expected points added per play allowed is negative 0.1, where lower is better for defense, and touchdowns allowed is 10. In rankings and comparisons, the Colts are 15th out of the 16 shown teams. Versus the group average of these 16 teams, the Colts' points per game of 18.8 is better than the average of 21.3, yards per game of 315.0 is better than the average of 321.1, and expected points added per play of negative 0.10 is better than the average of negative 0.05. The Colts allow fewer points and yards than most in this group, with strong efficiency. Expected points added per play ranks third best among those shown. They excel in run defense with rush yards per game at 98.0 and rush expected points added at negative 0.06, but are middle of the pack in pass defense within the table. Colts versus rest of NFL defenses. Compared to the full NFL of 32 teams, the Colts appear in the upper half based on inclusion in this partial list, suggesting above-average performance early in the 2025 season. For context, top teams like the Denver Broncos, with points per game at 16.8 and expected points added per play at negative 0.14, set the benchmark, while weaker shown teams like the Las Vegas Raiders, with points per game at 27.8 and expected points added per play at plus 0.05, highlight the Colts' relative strength. Through Week 5, the Colts defense relies on elite individual performances, but adopts a conservative strategy, generating most production without blitzing. Strengths include run stopping and standard pass rush efficiency, but low blitz success and secondary depth issues could hinder against balanced attacks. Compared historically, only one Colts edge rusher hit 15% plus pressure over a full season since 2018, highlighting the current duo's rarity. Early season data suggests a top 10 potential in run defense, but needs secondary reinforcements for sustained success. Pass defense. This includes 190 pass plays, 63.3% pass percentage, allowing 217.0 passing yards per game and 5.7 passing yards per play, with an expected points added per pass of negative 0.12, 621 yards after catch allowed, plus 69 yards after catch over expected allowed, and an average target separation, the distance between the receiver and the nearest defender at pass arrival, of 3.5 yards. Alongside this, there are 110 run plays permitting 98.0 rushing yards per game and 4.5 rushing yards per play with an expected points added per rush of negative 0.06. Negative 7 rushing yards over expected, the difference between actual rushing yards and expected rushing yards on an individual play or series of plays, negative 0.07 rushing yards over expected per attempt, 1.47 rushing yards before contact per carry allowed, 3.00 yards after contact per carry allowed, 42.7% inside run rate, the percentage of carries where the run direction is inside the offensive tackles, 55.5% outside run rate. The percentage of carries where the run direction is outside the offensive tackles, 41.8% light box carry rate. percentage of carries against 6 or fewer defenders in the box, and 10.0% stacked box carry rate. Percentage of carries versus 8 or more defenders in the box. The unit has conceded 10 touchdowns total, with an overall yards per play of 4.3 and an expected points added per play of negative 0.10, alongside 14 run plays allowing 10 plus yards and a run stuff rate, percentage of run plays resulting in no gain or loss of 16.4%. Their pass rush generates a quarterback pressure rate of 31.7% across 63 pressures, with opponents averaging 2.67 seconds time to throw. Time elapsed from snap to pass forward, excludes sacks. A team average time to pressure of 2.65 seconds. A team average pass rush get-off, the average time it takes for a pass rusher to cross the line of scrimmage, of 0.90 seconds. A blitz rate, percentage of dropbacks with 5 or more pass rushers, of 25.1%, 14 sacks, and a sack rate of 7.0%. Preseason projections highlighted their effectiveness against running backs, ranking 11th in yards per carry allowed at 4.2 and 5th in yards before contact at 0.98, aligning with stronger run defense than pass. New data on under-center plays, 84 total, 28.6% pass, reveals solid efficiency at negative 0.08 expected points added per play with strong run stuffing, 0.12 expected points added per rush, but average pass results, 0.02 expected points added per pass. This overall profile depicts a defense that is efficient, negative expected points added per play, particularly against the pass, yet permits moderate yardage while excelling in limiting points. Performance by yards to go splits. The Indianapolis Colts defense exhibits notable variations in performance based on splits by yards to go, showcasing strengths in obvious passing situations and vulnerabilities in short yardage scenarios. In short yards to go, 1 to 2 yards, their weakest area, they allow plus 0.27 expected points added per play across 31 plays, 35.5% pass, yielding 29.8 yards per game and 4.8 yards per play with 4 touchdowns, indicating high opponent conversion rates and red zone issues. They are vulnerable to passes, plus 1.07. Expected points added per pass, but stout against runs, minus 0.17. Expected points added per rush, with low pressure at 9.1% quarterback pressure rate. 2 run plays allowing 10 plus yards, a stuff rate of 30.0%, rushing yards over expected of plus 9. Rushing yards over expected per attempt of plus 0.47. Yards before contact per attempt of 0.92. Yards after contact per attempt of 2.23. Inside run rate of 70.0%. Outside run rate of 30.0%. Light box carry rate of 10.0%, and stacked box carry rate of 25.0%. In mid-yards to go, 3 to 6 yards, their strongest split, they achieve negative 0.52. Expected points added per play over 57 plays, 68.4% pass, allowing 41.8 yards per game and 3.7 yards per play with 1 touchdown. Elite pass defense shines, 0.95 expected points added per pass, low 2.6 passing yards per play, alongside new pass-specific metrics like an 11.1% sack rate, 39.5% blitz rate, 2.35 time to pressure, 0.90 get-off, 2.6 average separation, and minus 15 yards after catch over expected, but they are leaky against runs, plus 0.41. Expected points added per rush, 6.0 rushing yards per play, with 3 run plays allowing 10 plus yards, a stuff rate of 11.1%, rushing yards over expected of plus 22, rushing yards over expected per attempt of plus 1.27, yards before contact per attempt of 2.41, yards after contact per attempt of 3.59, inside run rate of 44.4%, outside run rate of 55.6%, light box carry rate of 55.6%, stacked box carry rate of 0%, potentially exploitable via play action or draws. In long yards to go, 7 plus yards, performance is balanced but average at negative 0.04 expected points added per play across 212 plays, 66.0% pass, permitting 243.4 yards per game and 5.7 yards per play with 5 touchdowns. Higher pressure, 34.5% quarterback pressure rate, forces tougher throws with better results against runs, 0.15 expected points added per rush, then passes, 0.01 expected points added per pass. And for pass specifics, passing yards per game of 179.6, passing yards per play of 6.4, time to throw of 2.69, 9 sacks with 6.2% sack rate, 50 quarterback pressures with 34.5% quarterback pressure rate, time to pressure of 2.75, get off of 0.88, blitz rate of 19.3%, yards after catch of 526, yards after catch over expected of plus 86, average separation of 3.6. For runs, 9 run plays allowing 10 plus yards, stuff rate of 13.9%, rushing yards over expected of negative 37, rushing yards over expected per attempt of negative 0.55 yards before contact per attempt of 1.39, yards after contact per attempt of 3.07, inside run rate of 34.7%, outside run rate of 62.5%, light box carry rate of 47.2%, stacked box carry rate of 8.3%. Overall, mid and long yards to go limit expected points added effectively, but short yards to go yield positive expected points added allowed, detrimental for the defense, and high touchdown rates, highlighting red zone vulnerabilities. Performance by formation splits. Formational splits further illustrate how opponents' alignments influence the Indianapolis Colts defense, with under-center setups, more run-heavy, producing better overall expected points added compared to shotgun formations, pass-heavy, which expose run weaknesses in specific distances while enabling strong pass rushes elsewhere. Under center overall, 84 plays, 28.6% pass, is run dominant, yielding solid expected points added from negative 0.03 to negative 0.17, with high pressure rates, 40 to 44% quarterback pressure rate, and no touchdowns in long yardage, though slight run vulnerability in mid plus 0.11, expected points added per rush. Specifics include short under center, 16 plays, 12.5% pass, at negative 0.18 expected points added per play, allowing 8.0 yards per game and 2.5 yards per play, with 2 touchdowns. But excellent run defense, 2.1. Rushing yards per play, negative 0.42. Expected points added per rush, and no pressures. Mid under center, 14 plays, 35.7% pass, at minus 0.17 expected points added per play, with 8.4 yards per game and 3.0 yards per play plus 1 touchdown. Passing yards per game. 2.0 passing yards per play. 0.2 expected points added per pass. Negative 0.67 rushing yards per game. 6.4 rushing yards per play. 4.8 expected points added per rush plus 0.11. Time to throw 2.86. Quarterback pressures 2. Quarterback pressure rate 40.0%. And long under center, 54 plays, 31.5% pass, at minus 0.03 expected points added per play, permitting 58.4 yards per game and 5.4 yards per play, with 0 touchdowns and 3.13 time to throw, passing yards per game 19.0, passing yards per play 5.6, expected points added per pass plus 0.05, rushing yards per game 39.4, rushing yards per play 5.3, expected points added per rush, negative 0.06, quarterback pressures 8, quarterback pressure rate 44.4%. Shotgun formations, implied 202 plays, 74.3% pass. Drive higher pass rates, 77 to 79% in mid-long, and mixed results at minus 0.02. Expected points added per play overall, allowing 227.8 yards per game and 5.6 yards per play with 6 touchdowns. They generate pressure, 25 to 34% quarterback pressure rate, and limit passes in mid, 0.83 expected points added per pass. But runs exploit them in mid-short, plus 0.71 and plus 0.35. Expected points added per rush, with short shotgun 14 plays, 64.3% pass, proving disastrous at plus 0.76 expected points added per play, 21.2 yards per game, 7.6 yards per play, and 2 touchdowns including high-risk run gains, 6.2 rushing yards per play, outweighing pass struggles plus 0.99. Expected points added per pass at 2.32 time to throw, and 11.1% quarterback pressure rate. Mid-shotgun, 40 plays, 77.5% pass, is elite at negative 0.48 expected points added per play with 33.2 yards per game and 4.2 yards per play plus 0 touchdowns. And long shotgun, 148 plays, 79.7% pass, at minus 0.07 expected points added per play, allowing 177.4 yards per game and 6.0 yards per play, with 3 touchdowns and 2.63 time to throw. In summary, the defense thrives when forcing passes in shotgun/long situations but suffers on runs, in balanced or mid distances, consistent with preseason strengths and limiting yards before contact on runs. Pass defense performance. The pass defense table lists 14 teams, ranked by expected points added per pass allowed, where more negative values indicate better performance in stifling passing plays. The Colts rank 8th, indicating a competent but not elite pass defense among these top units. For the Colts, over 5 games played, passing yards per game allowed is 217.0. Passing yards per pass allowed is 5.7. Expected points added per pass allowed is negative 0.12. Sacks are 14 with a sack percentage of 7.0%. Quarterback pressure percentage is 31.7%. And time to throw allowed is 2.67 seconds. In rankings and comparisons, the Colts are 8th out of the 14 shown teams. Versus the group average of these 14 teams, the Colts' passing yards per game of 217.0 is worse than the average of 193.4. Expected points added per pass of negative 0.12 is slightly worse than the average of a negative 0.15. And sack percentage of 7.0% is comparable to group leaders like Denver at 10.6%. The Colts generate good pressure. Quarterback pressure percentage ranks mid-group and limit big plays with passing yards per pass at 5.7, but allow more yards than top pass defenses like the Minnesota Vikings, with passing yards per game at 157.6 and expected points added per pass at negative 0.42. Their sack total of 14 is strong, tying for 3rd in the table. In the broader National Football League context, the Colts' 8th ranking in this expected points added per pass-focused list places them in the top 3rd league-wide for pass efficiency allowed, though yards allowed suggest room for improvement against volume passing attacks. Leaders like the Vikings dominate in disrupting quarterbacks, with expected points added per pass at negative 0.42 and sack percentage at 8.2%, while the Colts balance pressure with moderate coverage statistics, such as average separation at 3.5 yards. Run defense performance. Interior linemen DeForest Buckner and Grover Stewart lead with 12 run stops each, tied for most among defensive linemen. Buckner excels with 19 run tackles and a 3.17% run tackle rate, highest among defensive linemen with 30-plus run snaps. Against Raiders running back Ashton Jeanty in Week 5, the unit stuffed 52.9% of his carries at or behind the line of scrimmage, 10th highest among running backs with 30-plus carries, limiting him despite his 101 yards on such plays, second to Jonathan Taylor's 136. This suggests a stout front against the run, particularly in early down containment. Filtered to players with greater than or equal to 20 run defense snaps and greater than 0 stops. Ranked by score equals stop percentage divided by average depth of tackle plus 0.1, rewarding high stop percentage and low average depth of tackle. Position group analysis. Interior defensive linemen. Strongest group overall. Adebo Ward leads with elite stop percentage and low average depth of tackle. Buckner and Stewart provide high volume reliability. Edge defenders. Pay and Lewis excel with low average depth of tackle, tackles at behind line of scrimmage. Ebucum solid but higher average depth of tackle. Latu lags in stop percentage. Linebackers Ajiaki promising in limited snaps. Franklin high snaps, underwhelms. Secondary, safeties, cornerbacks. Minimal impact, low stop percentage, high average depth of tackle. Not primary run stoppers. Comparison to run directions. Colts use a 4-3 scheme with rotations. Left defensive end, defends offense right end runs. Kwity Paye, starter. Tyquan Lewis, rotational. Right defensive end, defends offense left end runs. Liatu Latu / Samson Ebukam starters, JT Tuimoloau, depth. Defensive tackle, 3-tech. DeForest Buckner, aligns to guard shoulder, often weak side. Nose tackle, 1-tech. Grover Stewart, nose, middle strong side. Backups Adibawar, hybrid, Gallimore. Relating to prior directional yards per attempts, strong middles, middle left 3.55, middle right 3.0, right guard 3.17. Matches elite interior defensive linemen, Adibawar / Buckner / Stewart high stop percentage, moderate average depth of tackle. They clog gaps effectively. Weak edges, left end 10.57, right end 6.83. Left end, right defensive end side. Worst aligning with weaker right defensive end metrics, Ebukam Latu. Moderate stop percentage, higher average depth of tackle. Right end, left defensive end side. Better but still weak, despite strong left defensive end, Pay Lewis low average depth of tackle. Possible linebacker Shoss secondary leaks. Weak tackles are guards. Left guard 6.25, left tackle 5.67, right tackle 6.11. Partial interior weakness, left guard left tackle, defense right, may expose Buckner's side if rotated. Right tackle defense left ties to Stewart. Low linebacker stop percentage, Franklin amplifies. Interior strength limits middle success. Edge inconsistencies, right defensive end greater than left defensive end weakness, explain perimeter vulnerabilities. Target offense left end, left guard, left tackle, against right defensive end interior gaps. Strengths, 96 rush allowed, 9th. Low volume efficiency, solid points allowed 20.8 per game, 12th. Weaknesses, rush defense value over average minus 4.1%, 24th, inefficient per play. Vulnerable to schemed runs, motion pulls allowing 5 to 10 yards, fumbles, forced but explosives conceded. Through week 4 of 2025, Colts allowed 4.5 to 4.8 yards per carry on average. Pre-game average approximately 4.8 yards per carry through week 4. 3. September average 4.5 yards per carry. Ranked mid-tier in run defense with vulnerabilities to explosive runs, 27th in explosive run rate allowed on early downs at 12%, but 7th in yards. Per carry allowed at 4.0 based on prior year trends adjusted for 2025 previews. Allowed approximately 147 rushing yards per game in some contexts, but strong in success rate allowed, 6th at 24% on first-second downs. Advanced rush expected points added around minus 0.04, indicating slightly above average efficiency and limiting expected points from runs. Pass rush performance. The Colts' pass rush shows strength in key duos, but inconsistency overall. Liatu Latu and Samson Ebukam form one of only 5 edge rushing pairs league-wide, with a 15% plus pressure rate, accounting for 24 of the team's 71 pressures, 33.8%. Latu demonstrated this in Week 4 against Rams tackle Rob Havenstein, generating 4 pressures, including 1 quick pressure, on 18 matchups, 22.2%, rate and adding a sack on other rushes. However, the team ranks low in blitz-generated pressure, 27.5%, 4th lowest. Blitzing just 24.4% of dropbacks in Week 4, 2nd lowest seasonally. Notably, 13 of 16 pressures and 2 of 3 sacks came with 4 or fewer rushers, indicating effectiveness in standard rushes despite a conservative approach. The Indianapolis Colts pass rush is predominantly driven by the defensive line, amassing 5 sacks and 63 quarterback pressures overall, with blitz rates varying, e.g. 39.5% in mid-yards to go, and key metrics like 2.35 time to pressure in mid and quick 0.90 get-off. Top performers include DeForest Buckner, defensive line, rank 1, with 135 pass rush snaps, 97.8% blitz, 1.0 sack, 0.7 sack percentage, 13 quarterback pressures, 9.6 quarterback pressure percentage, 5.35 time to sack, the average time elapsed from snap to sack, 3.00 time to pressure, 5 quick quarterback pressures, quick pressures under 3 seconds, 0.99 get-off, and 1 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. The number of pressures that result in a turnover, interception, or forced fumble. Samson Ebukam, defensive line, rank 2, with 100 pass rush snaps, 92.6% blitz, 2.0 sacks, 2.0%, 15 quarterback pressures, 15.0%, 5.23 time to sack, 3.54 time to pressure, 2 quick quarterback pressures, 0.94 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Kwity Paye, defensive line, rank 3, with 96 pass rush snaps, 88.9% blitz, 1.0 sack, 1.0%, 6 quarterback pressures, 6.3%, 5.47 time to sack, 3.38 time to pressure, 0 quick quarterback pressures, 0.95 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Grover Stewart, defensive line, rank 4, with 92 pass rush snaps, 100% blitz, 0 sacks, 4 quarterback pressures, 4.3%, 0 time to sack, 2.75 time to pressure, 2 quick quarterback pressures, 1.11 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. And Laiatu Latu, defensive line, rank 5, with 92 pass rush snaps, 89.3% blitz, 1.0 sack, 1.1%, 14 quarterback pressures, 15.2%, 4.61 time to sack, 3.04 time to pressure, 3 quick quarterback pressures, 0.95 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Linebackers and defensive backs contribute sporadically. Zaire Franklin, linebacker, rank 6, with 29 pass rush snaps, 15.9% blitz, 1.0 sack, 3.4%, 5 quarterback pressures, 17.2%, 3.04 time to sack, 2.88 time to pressure, 3 quick quarterback pressures, 1.18 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Nick Cross, defensive back, rank 7, with 15 pass rush snaps, 8.4% blitz, 1.5 sacks, 10.0%, 4 quarterback pressures, 26.7%, 3.37 time to sack, 2.38 time to pressure, 2 quick quarterback pressures, 1.14 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Kenny Moore-II, defensive back, rank 8, with 13 pass rush snaps, 13.7% blitz, 1.0 sack, 7.7%, 1 quarterback pressure, 7.7%, 3.58 time to sack, 2.70 time to pressure, 0 quick quarterback pressures, 1.08 get off, 1 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Cameron Bynum, defensive back, rank 9, with 7 pass rush snaps, 3.9% blitz, 0 sacks, 2 quarterback pressures, 28.6%, 0 time to sack, 1.70 time to pressure, 2 quick quarterback pressures, 1.06 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Chris Lamons, defensive back, rank 10, with 3 pass rush snaps, 100% blitz, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback pressures, and 0.00 get off. And Miki Blackman, defensive back, rank 11, with 1 pass rush snap, 4.8% blitz, 1.0 sack, 100%, 1 quarterback pressure, 100%, 4.59 time to sack, 4.60 time to pressure, 0 quick quarterback pressures, 0.00 get off, 0 turnover caused by quarterback pressure. Insights reveal Ebukam and Latu leading in efficiency, over 15% quarterback pressure percentage, Buckner in volume, 135 snaps, 1 turnover, and defensive backs / linebackers with high sack rates on limited rushes. Quick get off, under 1.0 for most. Bolsters mid / long pressure, 34 to 44% quarterback pressure percentage. Secondary performance. Cornerback Charvarius Ward stands out, allowing a 53.3% completion rate, 17th lowest among cornerbacks with 15-plus targets, and 5.3 yards per target, 8th lowest. In Week 4, he restricted Davante Adams to 1 10-yard reception with a touchdown over 17 matchups. Conversely, the unit faces challenges. Xavier Howard retired after Week 4, having surrendered 14 catches on 22 targets for 183 yards and 2 touchdowns. Replacement starter Jonathan Edwards has minimal experience, 10 coverage snaps, while backup Mekhi Blackman allowed 8 catches on 11 targets for 81 yards and a touchdown over 94 snaps. This indicates vulnerability at outside cornerback, potentially exploitable by passing offenses. Coverage analysis as the nearest defender for the Indianapolis Colts defense, segmented by yards to go, demonstrates tight overall average separation at 2.6 yards, with defensive backs handling most snaps and negative catch rate over expected. The difference between actual catch rate allowed and expected catch rate, in key areas indicating superior catch prevention. In short yards to go, vulnerabilities emerge with high completion rates, often 100%, positive catch rate over expected, worse than expected, and wide separation 3 to 5 yards. Xavier Howard, defensive back, with 6 coverage snaps, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 19 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 145.8 rating, 100% catch rate, plus 24.1% catch rate over expected, minus 0.8 coverage expected points added, 1.8 average separation, 0% tight window percentage. The percentage of passes where the targeted receiver has less than 1 yard of separation when the pass arrives, 3.5 yards after catch per reception. Nick Cross, defensive back, with 9 coverage snaps, 2 targets, 2 receptions, 23 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 114.6 rating, 100% catch rate, plus 26.0% catch rate over expected, minus 2.9 coverage expected points added, 3.8 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 4.5 yards after catch per reception. Zaire Franklin, linebacker, with 10 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 3 receptions, 22 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 0 interception, 127.1 rating, 75% catch rate, minus 2.9% catch rate over expected, plus 1.3 coverage expected points added, 5.3 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 1.3 yards after catch per reception. Makey Blackman, defensive back, with 5 coverage snaps, 1 target, 1 reception, 4 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 83.3 rating, 100% catch rate, plus 17.9% catch rate over expected, minus 1.0 coverage expected points added. 3.3 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 2.0 yards after catch per reception. And Charvarius Ward, defensive back, with 9 coverage snaps, 1 target, 1 reception, 9 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 104.2 rating, 100% catch rate, plus 12.8% catch rate over expected, minus 0.4 coverage expected points added, 5.2 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 4.0 yards after catch per reception. In mid-yards to go, strength is apparent with low receptions and yards, negative expected points added, tight separation, 1 to 3 yards, and high tight window percentage. Cameron Bynum, defensive back, with 38 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 0 receptions, 0 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 1 interception, 0 rating, 0% catch rate, minus 24.8% catch rate over expected. Negative 3.2 coverage expected points added, 1.3 average separation, 50% tight window percentage, 0 yards after catch per reception. Nick Cross, defensive back, with 35 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 1 reception, 0 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 39.6 rating, 25% catch rate, negative 32.8% catch rate over expected, negative 5.1 coverage expected points added, 1.6 average separation, 25% tight window percentage, 1.0 yards after catch per reception. Makey Blackman, defensive back, with 33 coverage snaps, 6 targets, 3 receptions, 31 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 1 interception, 25.7 rating, 50% catch rate, negative 3.1% catch rate over expected, negative 8.3 coverage expected points added, 1.8 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 1.7 yards after catch per reception. Charvarius Ward, defensive back, with 29 coverage snaps, 2 targets, 1 reception, 3 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 56.3 rating, 50% catch rate, minus 10.9% catch rate over expected, minus 2.5 coverage expected points added, 2.1 average separation, 50% tight window percentage, 5.0 yards after catch per reception. And Xavier Howard, defensive back, with 27 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 2 receptions, 37 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 82.3 rating, 50% catch rate, plus 10.4% catch rate over expected, minus 0.2 coverage expected points added, 1.0 average separation, 75% tight window percentage, 4.0 yards after catch per reception. In long yards to go, higher volume yields moderate catch rate, 55 to 85%. Varied expected points added, wider separation, 3 to 5 yards, and higher yards after catch per reception. Cameron Bynum, defensive back, with 124 coverage snaps, 15 targets, 10 receptions, 125 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 109.7 rating, 66.7% catch rate, plus 0.4% catch rate over expected, minus 2.0 coverage expected points added, 4.3 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 18.8 yards after catch per reception. Nick Cross, defensive back, with 120 coverage snaps, 3 targets, 2 receptions, 33 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 103.5 rating, 66.7% catch rate, minus 7.1% catch rate. Over expected, negative 2.2 coverage expected points added, 4.2 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 1.5 yards after catch per reception. Zaire Franklin, linebacker, with 116 coverage snaps, 11 targets, 7 receptions, 50 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 74.1 rating, 63.6% catch rate, minus 13.1% catch rate over expected, negative 0.7 coverage expected points added, 4.2 average separation, 0% tight window percentage, 4.1 yards after catch per reception. Charvarius Ward, defensive back, with 110 coverage snaps, 18 targets, 10 receptions, 98 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 0 interception, 89.6 rating, 55.6% catch rate, minus 11.5% catch rate. Over expected, minus 0.6 coverage expected points added, 3.0 average separation, 16.7% tight window percentage, 5.6 yards after catch per reception, and Xavier Howard, defensive back, with 97 coverage snaps, 14 targets, 10 receptions, 127 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 0 interception, 123.2 rating, 71.4% catch rate, plus 6.6% catch rate over expected, minus 8.9 coverage expected points added, 2.6 average separation, 7.1% tight window percentage, 4.0 yards after catch per reception. Insights note Bynum and Cross leading in snaps, and expected points added in long/mid with negative catch rate over expected/expected points, added for sticky coverage, short yardage breakdowns, high ratings allowed, positive catch rate over expected. Franklin's versatility but yards after catch issues in long and minimal defensive line coverage roles. The Indianapolis Colts defense features several key players with notable strengths and weaknesses in coverage and tackling, as detailed in the provided metrics for those with at least 3 games played, games greater than or equal to 3. Cornerback Xavier Howard, with 141 coverage snaps, demonstrates strength in handling high target volume, 22 targets, and achieving a low National Football League passer rating against 19.2, alongside solid snaps per target at 5.9 and good tackling, 8 tackles, 1 assist. However, his weaknesses include a high reception percentage, 72.7%, substantial yards allowed, 195, elevated yards per reception, 12.2, moderate yards after catch, 62, no forced incompletions, 0, no pass breakups or interceptions, 3 dropped interceptions, and a missed tackle rate, 18.2%, while allowing approximately 3 touchdowns. Linebacker Joe Batke, on 70 coverage snaps, excels in run support with 10 tackles and 6 defensive stops, plus a low missed tackle rate, 8.3%, but struggles in coverage with 100% reception percentage, 131 yards allowed, high yards after catch, 57, low snaps per target, 4.3, and no forced incompletions, pass breakups, or interceptions. Linebacker Zaire Franklin, with 138 coverage snaps, Manages high volume effectively with a 70% reception percentage. Low yards per reception, 9.6. 10% forced incompletions, 2 pass breakups, no touchdowns allowed, strong tackling, 13 tackles, 5 assists, 4 stops, and low National Football League rating against, 8.5. Though he permits moderate yards, 135, high yards after catch, 83, and 10% missed tackle rate. Cornerback Kenny Mordetu on the 87 coverage snaps shows solid reception percentage, 64.3%. Low yards, 85, and yards per reception, 9.4. 7.1% forced incompletions, 1 pass breakup and interception. Low National Football League rating, 75.0, and 0% missed tackle rate, but has high yards after catch, 68, and a 37.5% missed tackle rate. Safety. Nick Cross with 144 coverage snaps limits reception percentage to 58.3% and faces deep throws. Average depth of target at 11.2, while achieving 0% missed tackle rate and 7 stops, yet allows moderate yards, 82, 1 touchdown, high National Football League rating, 106.9, and no forced incompletions, pass breakups, or interceptions. Cornerback Charvarius Ward, on 124 coverage snaps, performs well with 63.6% reception percentage, low yards, 46, and yards per reception, 6.6, high forced incompletions percentage, 27%, 3 pass breakups, low yards after catch, 15, and low missed tackle rate, 25%. But on a small sample, 11 targets, with 1 dropped interception and 2 missed tackles. Cornerback. Makey Blackman with 102 coverage snaps offers 100% coverage percentage, 11% forced incompletions, 1 pass breakup and interception, and good tackling. 11 tackles, 4 stops, but is vulnerable to big plays with 66.7% reception percentage, 137 yards, high yards per reception, 22.8, high yards after catch, 71, high average depth of target, 12.8, and 13.3% missed tackle rate. Safety Cameron Bynum on 147 coverage snaps handles volume with 66.7% reception percentage, 33% forced incompletions, 1 pass breakup, 2 interceptions, and 0% missed tackle rate, though on limited targets, 3, with moderate yards, 20. Other players like Rodney Thomas II and Austin Ajiak have small samples, often with high reception percentage but low yards. Player Performance Summary. The Player Performance Summary for the Indianapolis Colts defense underscores high snap leaders fueling the unit. Zaire Franklin, linebacker, with 277 snaps, 92.3% defensive playtime percentage, 29 tackles, 10 defensive stops. Tackles that result in a successful play for the defense, negative, expected points added. 3 hustle stops, defensive stops where the player covers 20-plus yards of in-play distance from snap to tackle, 1.0 sack. 5 quarterback pressures, 17.2 quarterback pressure percentage. 13 receptions allowed, 96 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 103.0 passer rating allowed. Nick Cross, defensive back, with 274 snaps, 91.3% defensive playtime percentage, 41 tackles, 16 stops, 4 hustle, 1.5 sacks, 4 quarterback pressures, 26.7%, 5 receptions allowed, 56 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 74.3 rating. Cameron Bynum, defensive back, with 271 snaps, 90.3% defensive playtime percentage, 21 tackles, 1 stop, 1 hustle, 0 sacks, 2 quarterback pressures, 28.6%, 10 receptions allowed, 125 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, 95.8 rating. Charvarius Ward, defensive back, with 217 snaps, 86.8% defensive playtime percentage, 13 tackles, 5 stops, 2 hustle, 0 sacks, 0 quarterback pressures, 0%, 12 receptions allowed, 110 yards allowed, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 87.4 rating. And DeForest Buckner, defensive line, with 212 snaps, 70.7% defensive playtime percentage, 28 tackles, 17 stops, 2 hustle, 1.0 sack, 13 quarterback pressures, 9.6%, 1 reception allowed, 11 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 112.5 rating. Stops and hustles emphasize run defense prowess, particularly from Buckner. Pass charts and quarterback performances against Colts. Analysis of pass charts for 5 quarterbacks against the Indianapolis Colts defense in 2025 games. Focuses on stats, efficiency, and chart patterns, e.g., throw locations, outcomes. Charts visualize throws relative to the line of scrimmage with depth downfield, positive y-axis, and field width, left-right, -50 to +50. Symbols green, complete, blue, touchdown, white, incomplete, red, interception. Statistical summary aggregate versus Colts, 113 out of 168 completions, 67.3%, 1,142 yards, 228.4 average per game. 8 touchdowns allowed, 6 interceptions forced. Individual analysis, Bo Nix, Broncos. Efficient outing with strong touchdown production despite modest yards. Chart shows cluster of short to intermediate completes, 3 touchdowns at varying depths, and 1 deep interception +30. Balanced left-right distribution, exploited seams for scores. Negative completion percentage over expected suggests completions were expected, but touchdowns boosted rating. Geno Smith, Seahawks, volume-based but turnover-prone. Chart reveals many short completes, greens behind +10 line of scrimmage, but 2 interceptions, reds, on intermediate throws approximately +10. No touchdowns, passes skewed right. Positive completion percentage over expected indicates overperformance on completions, but interceptions tanked rating. Colts capitalized on errors. Tua Tagovailoa, subpar, low volume/yards. Chart has sparse dots. Short completes, 1 short touchdown, 2 interceptions. Reds approximately +20, many incompletes. Left side focus, suggests pressure limited deep shots. Worst completion percentage over expected reflects underperformance. Matthew Stafford, dominant high-volume efficiency. Chart spreads widely, numerous completes across depths, greens up to +40, 3 touchdowns, blues deep, intermediate, no interceptions, few incompletes. Balanced field use, deep accuracy overwhelmed secondary. High yards per attempt and positive completion percentage over expected highlight precision. Cam Ward, middling, inefficient. Chart mixes short completes, 1 short touchdown, 1 interception, many incompletes, whites, medium deep. Right side emphasis, negative completion percentage over expected shows missed opportunities. Comparative insights, top performers Stafford and Nix excelled, ratings greater than 110, with 6 combined touchdowns and high efficiency. Both attacked vertically, succeeding deep where others faltered. Strugglers, Tua, Geno, and Ward, had ratings less than 75, 5 combined interceptions, lower yards per attempt. Relied on short passes but suffered turnovers and inaccuracy. Efficiency trends, positive completion percentage over expected, Geno, Stafford, correlated with higher completion percentage, negative for others. Veterans, Stafford, Geno, averaged more attempts per yard than younger quarterbacks, Nix, Ward, Tua. Turnover impact. Colts forced interceptions in 4 out of 5 games, but Stafford avoided them via quick releases, deep accuracy. Colts defense insights. Strengths effective at forcing turnovers, 1.2 interceptions per game. Limiting yards in some matchups, e.g., Tua's 114. Short pass coverage solid with many incompletes near line of scrimmage across charts. Weaknesses. Vulnerable deep. Allowed 6 out of 8 touchdowns on intermediate deep throws. High yards conceded to volume passers, e.g., Stafford's 375. Average completion percentage allowed, 67.3%, suggests bend but don't break style, but explosive plays inflated yards, 228.4 average. Patterns. Charts show more success left for some, Tua, right for others, Geno, Ward. Central seams exploited, Nix, Stafford. May struggle versus mobile/accurate quarterbacks as turnovers didn't always limit scores. Overall middling pass defense, allows production but generates opportunistic plays. The quarterback pass charts illustrate performance against the Colts in 2025 games, highlighting how defensive traits align with outcomes. Tennessee Titans quarterback Cam Ward's chart: 23 completions out of 38 attempts, 219 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, negative 2.9% completion percentage over expected, reflects a conservative style with many short left-middle passes, mostly complete. Sparse deep attempts including 1 touchdown and 1 interception, suggesting the defense pressured his short game into underperformance. Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa's chart: 14 for 23, 114 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, minus 7.4% completion percentage over expected, shows struggles with limited clustered short middle throws, 1 short touchdown, and 2 interceptions, 1 medium, 1 deep, indicating dominance by the Colts leading to low yards and high turnovers. Los Angeles Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford's chart: 29 of 41, 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 0, plus 2.7% completion percentage over expected, displays aggressive deep throws with numerous medium/deep completes and touchdowns spread out, no turnovers, and exceeded expectations, exploiting defensive gaps. Denver Broncos quarterback Bo Nix's chart: 22 out of 30, 206 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, negative 0.7% completion percentage over expected, focuses on efficient short-medium passes with clustered completes, 3 touchdowns and 1 interception, yielding solid rates but modest yards. Comparing these reveals the Colts' vulnerabilities to deep passes, as Stafford's high yards and touchdowns align with weaknesses in cornerbacks like Blackman, high average depth of target and yards per reception, and Howard, high yards per touchdown, with charts showing exploitation on deep sides. Conversely, strengths in short/middle disruption, e.g. Ward's low yards per reception, and high forced incompletions percentage, Franklin's pass breakups and no touchdowns. Force errors in Tua and Ward's charts: high interceptions, low yards. Turnover creation, e.g. Moore 2 and Bynum's interceptions, matches interceptions against Tua/Ward, but missed opportunities, high dropped interceptions like Howard's 3, allow Stafford's clean sheet. Overall, the secondary is resilient to volume but inconsistent, excelling against quick-release quarterbacks, Tua Ward, over 2 interceptions, under 220 yards, via short-game pressure yet struggling versus deep threats. Stafford 375 yards. Nix's efficiency suggests middle field issues. The defense allows about 914 total pass yards across 4 games, roughly 228 per game. Moderate but touchdown heavy, 8+. Recommending deep coverage schemes and leveraging tackling strengths for better balance. Under center versus non-under center plays comparison. Runs, under center runs, 9 plays, average 2.22 yards per carry, total 20 yards, success rate, positive yards, 78%. Tend to be short game traps, just zones, e.g. under center zone middle 3, with occasional bursts 9, but higher stuff toss fumble risk, -10 versus linebacker blitz. Non-under center runs, 9 plays, average 4.22 yards per carry, total 38 yards, success rate 78%. More consistent gains via motion zones, e.g. motion left zone middle 0, but highs like 9. Fewer negatives. Comparison: non-under center runs outperform in average yards, 4.22 versus 2.22, suggesting better blocking, explosiveness from shotgun. Similar success rates mask under center's higher variance, fumbles/stuffs. Aligns Colts run defense strengths, low yards per game allowed, but weaknesses to schemed motion, non-under center gains. Passes, under center passes, 2 plays, average 0.5 yards per attempt, total 1 yard, success rate 50%. Limited to play action shorts, i.e. boot running back out 2, chip checkdown -1. Low volume, high risk. Non-under center passes, 31 plays, average 6.97 yards per attempt, total 216 yards, success rate 65%. Diverse quick ins, 4-9, mids, 14-17, deeps, 25, more incompletes, just negatives, but higher upside. Comparison: non-under center passes far superior in volume, Josh Chow average 6.97 versus 0.5. Exploiting Colts mid-deep vulnerabilities, e.g. go 35, comeback 16. Under center passes conservative, low impact. Matches pass charts short mid-rights, non-under center curls slants 7 to 9, and deep hits 25 plus, with under center as minor short elements. Checkdowns/outs approximately 0 to 2, potential incompletes. Overall, under center skewed to runs, 9 out of 11 plays. Non-under center to passes, 31 out of 40. Non-under center more efficient across types. Per Colt stats, strong run defense forces short under center gains, weak pass defense yields non-under center yards. Play categorization by run and pass. Run plays, wide zone right left, 3 to 5. Zone right left or middle, 0 to 9. Draw 8. Motion left, right wide zone, 0 to 10. Versus linebacker blitz fumble, -10. Outcomes, frequent stuffs, 0 to 3, 0 to 3. 40% of new runs. Gains 5 to 10 on motion or pulls, 30%. Negatives rare but costly. Overall average approximately 3.5 yards per carry in clips, schemed bursts. Pass plays, quick in or slant, 4 to 10. Chip checkdown, -1. Go, 35. Running back screen down swing, -70. Corner out, 25. Curl wheel, 0 to 8. Deep comeback, 16. Fake slant, 15. Flood crosser, 0. Wide receiver screen. 17 post, 15 to 17. Play action boot out, 2. Scramble, 6. Verse blitz/press notes. Outcomes quick/mid, 4 to 17 yards. Successes, 50%. Deep, 25 to 35 hits. Wheels/floods often 0. Incompletes, 40%. Negatives from pressure/screens. Week 4. Game analysis versus Los Angeles Rams. The Los Angeles Rams defeated the Indianapolis Colts 27 to 20 in Week 4 of the 2025 National Football League season on September 28, 2025, at SoFi Stadium. The Rams mounted a late comeback, scoring 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds, including an 88-yard touchdown pass from quarterback Matthew Stafford to wide receiver Tutu Atwell. The Colts led early but were hampered by 11 penalties and 3 turnovers, including a fumble by wide receiver Adonai Mitchell. The Rams accumulated 477 total yards, 375 passing, 102 rushing, on 70 plays, while the Colts defense allowed 462 yards, 360 passing, 102 rushing, exposing vulnerabilities despite forcing 1 turnover via a botched handoff recovered by defensive lineman Adetomiwa Adebawore. Stafford completed 29 of 41 passes, 70.7% completion rate, for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions, achieving a 123.5 passer rating and plus 14.6 expected points added. The Colts held a stout run defense but faltered against the pass, leading to their first loss and a 3-1 record. The Colts defense allowed 375 passing yards on 41 attempts plus 3 sacks, totaling approximately 44 pass plays, yielding 3 passing touchdowns and an average of 9.1 yards per pass. This highlighted coverage issues with a plus 0.33 expected points added per pass for the Rams, average separation of 3.3 yards, and a 35.6% quarterback pressure percentage. The blitz rate was 22.2%, but the sack rate remained low at 6.7%, allowing Stafford effective operation with a 2.65 second time to throw and 2.81 second time to pressure. In run defense, the Colts limited the Rams to 102 rushing yards on 26 attempts, 3.9 yards per carry, no rushing touchdowns, and a negative 0.35 expected points added per rush, stuffing 19.2% of runs and allowing only 4 gains of 10-plus yards. Box counts were balanced, 26.9% in-box, 65.4% out, 38.5% light, 0% stacked, resulting in -4 rushing yards over expected and negative 0.19 rushing yards over expected per attempt. Overall, the defense generated 20 quarterback pressures, 17.4% average quarterback pressure percentage among rushers, and 3 sacks, with an average time to pressure of 3.0 seconds, but struggled with pass rush consistency and late-game coverage breakdowns. Season averages through 4 games show 319.8 total yards allowed per game, 236.5 passing, 96 rushing, 2.5 sacks, and 1.0 interceptions, with the Rams exceeding these by 44% in total yards. The Rams offense achieved 462 total yards, with 360 passing and 102 rushing, marking 6.6 yards per play and plus 0.08 expected points added per play. In passing, they posted 8.2 yards per play, plus 0.33 expected points added per pass, and plus 60 yards after catch over expected, driven by a 62.9% pass rate and solid receiver separation. Rushing featured Kyron Williams with 13 attempts for 77 yards, 5.9 yards per carry, plus 11 rushing yards over expected, 84.6% success rate, 3. 10-plus yard runs, and Blake Corum with 9 attempts for 21 yards, 2.3 yards per carry, minus 13 rushing yards over expected, 22.2% success rate, totaling 3.9 yards per carry team-wide with no stacked boxes faced. The offense protected the ball well aside from one lost fumble, exploiting Colts' weaknesses in pass defense, 52% above season average, while performing near average in rushing, slightly above 96 yards per game allowed. This boosted the Rams' mid-tier rankings, showcasing efficiency against a mid-tier Colts unit, 14th in defensive expected points, added at negative 0.05, 15th in points per drive at 1.96. Standout Rams performers included wide receiver Puka Nacua, 15 targets, 13 receptions, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, plus 14.9. Receiving expected points added, plus 13.7% catch rate over expected. Wide receiver Tutu Atwell, 2 targets, 1 reception, 88 yards, 1 touchdown, plus 4.8 receiving expected points added, 5.5 average separation. And wide receiver Devontae Adams, 6 targets, 4 receptions, 56 yards, 1 touchdown, plus 4.9 receiving expected points added. Tight end Tyler Higbee added 25 yards on 5 targets. For the Colts, defensive lineman DeForest Buckner anchored with 8 tackles, 6 stops, and 3 quarterback pressures across 80% snaps. Safety. Nick Cross had 14 tackles, 0.5 sack, and 2 quarterback pressures on 100% snaps. Edge rusher Laiatu Latu recorded 1 sack, 5 quarterback pressures, and a fumble recovery. Linebacker Zaire Franklin contributed 7 tackles and strong coverage, 25% catch allowed. Coverage struggles showed in 78.6% catch rate allowed and negative coverage expected points added for most defensive backs. Stafford's plus 14.6 expected points added ranked 5th among Week 4 quarterbacks, behind Dak Prescott plus 22.5 and others. Colts strengths included run stuffing, 19.2% stuff rate, negative expected points added per rush, and quick pressure, 0.89 get-off average, limiting ground explosives. Weaknesses were pass coverage, high yards per play, late collapse, and turnover generation, only 1 forced. Rams' strengths featured passing dominance, plus 60 yards after catch over expected, efficient touchdowns and balanced attacks, though rushing inconsistency beyond Williams highlighted depth concerns. The game exposed Colts' pass vulnerabilities, 20th in pressure rate at 27.4%, and explosive run allowances, 27th in rate, while penalties disrupted rhythm. For outlook, the Colts, now 3-1, need secondary bolstering and better pressure. The Rams' scheme under Sean McVay positions them well against similar defenses, emphasizing diversification in run game. The Colts defense faced a potent Rams offense. The unit recorded 3 sacks and forced 1 turnover, a fumble recovery, but failed to intercept Matthew Stafford. The defense played 70 snaps, with strong snap counts from linebackers and secondary players, but struggled in coverage and generating consistent pressure. The Colts allowed 29 completions on 41 attempts, 70.7% completion rate, for 375 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a passer rating of approximately 130.1 against them. Coverage was a weakness, with 42 targets resulting in 33 receptions, 78.6% catch rate allowed, for 385 yards allowed, some discrepancy due to yards after catch. Key metrics: average separation, 3.5 yards across targeted defenders. Tight window percentage, 14.3% average. Ball hawk percentage, ball hawk opportunities, 9.5% average. Yards after catch per reception, 4.8 average. Standout coverage players, Zaire Franklin, linebacker, 31 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 1 reception, 1 yard allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 39.6 rating allowed, 25% catch rate, minus 3.0 coverage expected points added. Mike Hilton, defensive back, 31 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 3 receptions, 24 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 89.6 rating allowed, 75% catch rate, minus 0.1 coverage expected points added. Nick Cross, defensive back, 41 coverage snaps, 5 targets, 4 receptions, 49 yards allowed, 0 touchdown, 0 interception, 107.5 rating allowed, 80% catch rate, minus 2.1 coverage expected points added. The secondary was exploited, particularly by Puka Nacua, 13 receptions, 170 yards, 1 touchdown, and Tutu Atwell, 88-yard touchdown, with Makey Blackman falling in coverage on the game winner. The Colts held the Rams to 102 rushing yards on 26 attempts, 3.9 average, with no rushing touchdowns. They recorded 28 tackles on run plays, 33 stops on hustles combined, and limited big plays, longest run, 11 yards. Defensive linemen dominated run snaps. This was a strength as the Rams' Kyron Williams was limited to 77 yards on 13 carries. The unit generated 3 sacks and 20 quarterback pressures on 41 dropbacks. Quarterback pressure percentage, 17.4% average among rushers. Average time to pressure, 3.0 seconds. Key contributors, Liatu Latu, defensive line, 30 pass rush snaps, 90.9% blitz, 1.0 sack, 5 quarterback pressures, 16.7% quarterback pressure percentage, 4.61 time to sack, 3.04 time to pressure, 0.85 get off. Adata Mawa Adib Awar, defensive line, 12 pass rush snaps, 92.3% blitz, 0.5 sack, 3 quarterback pressures, 25.0% quarterback pressure percentage, 4.26 time to sack, 3.23 time to pressure, 1.06 get off. Mickey Blackman, defensive back, 1 pass rush snap, 5.3% blitz, 1.0 sack, 1 quarterback pressure, 100% quarterback pressure percentage, 4.59 time to sack, 4.60 time to pressure, 0.00 get off. DeForest Buckner led in pass rush snaps, 35, but had no sacks, focusing on interior disruption, 3 quarterback pressures. Standout players, DeForest Buckner, defensive line, high snap count, 80%, 8 tackles, 6 stops, 35 pass rush snaps, 3 quarterback pressures. Anchored the line in run and pass, Nick Cross, defensive back, 100% snaps, 14 tackles, 5 stops, 0.5 sack, 2 quarterback pressures. Versatile in coverage and blitz, 50% quarterback pressure on blitzes. Liatu Latu, defensive line, 1 sack, 5 quarterback pressures, fumble recovery, effective edge rusher with quick get-off. Zaire Franklin, linebacker, 100% snaps, 7 tackles, 5 stops, strong coverage, 25% catch allowed. Areas for improvement. Coverage breakdowns allowed explosive plays, e.g. 88-yard touchdown, 170 yards to Nacua, with negative expected points added in coverage for most defensive backs. Secondary depth was thin, with backups like Jonathan Edwards and Rodney Thomas allowing high ratings. Lack of interceptions and only 1 forced turnover highlight missed opportunities against a clean Stafford. Blitz rate was low overall, average approximately 20% among defensive backs, linebackers, potentially allowing more time for deep throws. The Rams receivers and pass catchers accumulated 29 receptions on 40 targets for 375 yards and 3 touchdowns, achieving a 72.5% catch rate. This indicates a dominant performance by the Rams' passing attack, as the Colts defense allowed substantial yardage and scoring through the air. Key performers: Puka Nacua, wide receiver, led with 15 targets, 13 receptions, 170 yards, and 1 touchdown. His 13.1 yards per reception and 86.7% catch rate highlight volume and reliability. Tutu Atwell, wide receiver. 2 targets, 1 reception, 88 yards, 1 touchdown. A standout big play threat with exceptional post-catch ability. Devontae Adams, wide receiver. 6 targets, 4 receptions, 56 yards, 1 touchdown. Efficient contributor with a 66.7% catch rate. Tyler Higbee, tight end. 5 targets, 2 receptions, 25 yards. Lower volume but positive impact. Advanced metrics insights, efficiency and expected performance. High positive receiving. Expected points added across top receivers. Nakua plus 14.9, Atwell plus 4.8, Adams plus 4.9. Showing plays exceeded expected point value. Catch rate over expected was strong for Nakua plus 13.7% and Adams plus 10.8%, but negative for Atwell minus 3.1% due to low volume. Yards after catch, total yards after catch contributed significantly, i.e. Atwell's 64 yards after catch and plus 64 yards after catch. Over expected suggest breaking tackles for explosive gains. Nakua had 59 yards after catch, plus 3 yards after catch over expected, while Adams was below expected minus 4 yards after catch over expected. Target depth and separation. Average air yards per target indicate mix of short and deep throws. Atwell 18.8, Nakua 10.8. Average separation was highest for Atwell, 5.5 yards, aiding his big play. Deep percentage shows Nakua 20% and Williams 0%, focused shorter. Overall defense struggle, Colts allowed high yards per route, EREG, Nakua 4.6, and positive expected points added per target for key players, suggesting coverage breakdowns and poor tackling. Conclusion: the Rams receivers exploited the Colts defense effectively, leveraging separation, yards after catch, and efficient catching for a high output game. The Colts' pass defense appeared vulnerable to both volume, Nakua, and explosive plays, Atwell, potentially due to mismatches in coverage. This matchup favored the Rams' aerial attack, contributing to what was likely a win or high-scoring affair for Los Angeles. Rams rushing stats: advanced metrics, no stacked boxes, 0% for all players, indicating the Colts did not heavily load against the run. Williams achieved 3 runs of 10-plus yards and 2 of 15-plus miles per hour. Corum had 1 of 10-plus yards and 2 of 15-plus miles per hour. Turnovers wash, fumbles. Williams had 1 fumble, lost, contributing to the botched handoff. Key performances: Kyren Williams dominated with efficient gains, outperforming expectations plus 11 rushing yards over expected total. His 84.6% success rate shows most carries advance the offense positively. High yards after contact, 3.2 per attempt, indicates strong post-contact running, breaking through the Colts' front. However, the fumble was costly. Blake Corum struggled significantly, underperforming expectations, negative 13 rushing yards over expected. Low success rate, 22.2%, and yards after contact, 1.8 per attempt, suggest the Colts defense contained him effectively, limiting burst. Matthew Stafford. Minimal impact, typical for quarterback scrambles, sneaks. Negative rushing yards over expected reflects situational inefficiency. Overall, the Rams' run game was inconsistent, relying heavily on Williams. 50% of attempts, 75% of yards. The 3.9 yards per carry was below Williams' output, dragged down by Corum and Stafford. The Rams' 3.9 yards per carry was below the Colts' season average, suggesting the defense performed well overall, despite Williams' success. The Colts exploited mismatches, EEG containing Corum, but allowed big plays to Williams, aligning with their explosive run vulnerability. No stacked boxes helped the Rams, but penalties, 11 total, disrupted Colts' defensive rhythm. Insights: the Rams' rushing attack exposed Colts' inconsistencies. Williams thrived against lighter fronts, 76.9% under center percentage, possibly under center, gaining yards after contact and over expected. Corum's poor output highlights potential depth issues for Rams if Williams is limited. For the Colts, this game underscored run defense flaws, allowing 102 yards despite below-average yards per carry, exacerbated by penalties and turnovers. In a close loss, better run containment could have shifted the outcome. Moving forward, the Colts defense, allowing 462 total yards, most since 2024 Week 5, needs to address explosive plays, while the Rams should diversify beyond Williams for balance. Matthew Stafford delivered an outstanding performance. His yards per attempt was 9.1, with a completion percentage over expected of plus 2.7%, indicating he slightly outperformed expectations based on play. Situations. Stafford's expected points added was plus 14.6 across 45 dropbacks, yielding an expected points added per dropback of plus 0.32, reflecting efficient value added per play. He faced pressure on 35.6% of dropbacks, taking 3 sacks, with an average time to throw of 2.65 seconds. This marked Stafford's highest passing yardage in a single game. The 2025 Colts defense ranks mid-tier entering Week 5, 12th in overall defensive stats, 14th in defensive expected points added per play, 0.05, and 15th in points per drive allowed, 1.96 after Week 3. In passing defense, they allow moderate yards, but rank around league average in touchdowns conceded, with a pressure rate contributing to opponent disruptions. Stafford excelled against this unit, exploiting coverage lapses for big plays, e.g. the 88-yard touchdown. The Colts forced 3 sacks and a fumble, recovered by defensive tackle Adetomiwa Adebawor, using strategies like blitzes, 22.2% blitz rate in the game, and challenging plays, e.g. overturning a quarterback sneak. Key Colts defenders included outside linebacker Jared Verse, strip sack, and the secondary, but they couldn't contain Stafford's deep ball, 9.8% deep, pass rate or fourth quarter precision. His plus 14.6 expected points added highlights how he generated positive outcomes despite pressure on 16 of 45 dropbacks. In Week 4 expected points added rankings, Stafford's plus 14.6 placed him 5th among quarterbacks. Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys, plus 22.5, first. Jordan Love, Green Bay Packers, plus 22.5, first. Plus 21.7, second. Drake May, New England Patriots, plus 20.0, third. Michael Penix Jr., Atlanta Falcons, plus 19.6, fourth. Bo Nix, Denver Broncos, plus 13.3, sixth. Stafford's output was strong, but trailed top performers in raw expected points added, though his yardage and efficiency stood out in a comeback scenario against a solid defense. Pass plays analysis versus Rams pass chart. Completions short middle right, 0 to 10 yards. Curls, slants, checkdowns 4 to 9. Mid right, 10 to 20 comebacks, posts, crossers 15 to 17. Deep left right, 20 plus go corner, 25 to 35 including 88-yard touchdown, not in clips. Touchdowns short, right mid-middle, deep. Incompletes deep, left short, left mid. Wheels flood 0. Match, new plays align, quick ins, slants, short mid-right completions, curls, mid-curls, comebacks, posts, mid-deep rights, go, corner, deep successes. Wheels, screens, floods, crossers 0, incompletes. Checkdowns, just boots, low us negative, short incompletes, pressure. Scrambles 6, mid-gains. Motion/blitz notes explain quick throws versus pressure, enabling deep shots, 375 yards total. Exploitation. Rams targeted Colts mid-pack pass defense, but top defense value over average minus 20.2% passing defense. Fourth, quick game versus blitz talks press, notes. Motion for open drags, curls, notes, looks open. Deep vulnerabilities exposed. The Colts allowed 477 yards, 375 passing, 102 rushing, which aligns closely with the provided stats snapshot. Rams mounted a late comeback, scoring 2 touchdowns in the final 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Key factors included the Colts' inability to close out drives and a critical fumble recovery, but they forced mistakes like a botched handoff. Overall, the Colts defense showed resilience but struggled against the pass, allowing the Rams to exploit aerial attacks for the win. This highlights vulnerability in coverage, as the Rams averaged approximately 9.1 yards per pass. Expected points added per pass plus 0.33 indicates above average efficiency for the opponent, suggesting the Colts struggled with target separation, average separation 3.3, and quick pressure. Quarterback pressure 16, quarterback pressure percentage 35.6%. Blitz rate was 22.2%, but sack rate 6.7% was low, allowing Rams quarterback Matthew Stafford to operate effectively. Strengths: forced tight windows, tight window percentage not specified, but implied by 2.81 time to pressure, and some hurry, get off 0.89. The Colts held the Rams to 102 rushing yards on 26 attempts, averaging 3.9 yards per rush. No rushing touchdowns were allowed, touchdown 0, with negative expected points added per rush, negative 0.35, indicating effective stops. They stuffed 19.2% of runs and limited 10-plus yard gains to 4. Box counts showed 26.9% in, 65.4% out, 38.5% light, 0% stacked, suggesting balanced fronts that contained explosive plays. Rushing yards over expected -4, rushing yards over expected per attempt -0.19. Weakness: allowed consistent short gains, but overall a strong performance compared to pass defense. Strengths: run stuffing, stuff percentage 19.2%, negative expected points added per rush, and quick pressure generation, time to pressure 2.65, time to sack 2.65. Limited big plays on the ground, 10-plus yards 4. Weaknesses: pass rush consistency, quarterback pressure percentage 35.6%, but low conversion to sacks. And coverage, passing yards per play 8.2, high yards per game. Late game collapse allowed comeback despite earlier control. Context: this loss exposed pass vulnerabilities, but run defense remains an asset. Rams offense ranks mid-tier in 2025. Key statistical comparison using the provided Rams game stats and Colts season defensive metrics. Rams exceeded by 44%, indicating dominance. 52% above average, Rams exploited pass defense. Slightly above average, balanced but not explosive. Efficient overall output. High efficiency suggests poor coverage by Colts. Average, Colts limited big runs, 0 rushing touchdowns. Rams scored efficiently through air. Colts generated pressure, 35.6% quarterback pressure rate in game. Rams protected ball well. The Rams' 462 yards represent about 36% of the Colts' season total allowed, underscoring a standout offensive game. Rams' offensive strengths exposed, passing game dominance. The Rams thrived in the air. This aligns with their plus 60 yards after catch over expected, suggesting receivers created extra yardage post-catch. The 3 passing touchdowns and low sack rate, 6.8%, despite 22.7% blitz rate, indicate strong protection and quick releases. Efficiency metrics, plus 0.08. Expected points added per play overall in 2.81 time. To pressure show the Rams handled pressure well, 35.6% quarterback pressure rate faced. Average separation, 3.3 for receivers was solid, aiding completions. Balanced attack, 62.9% pass rate with 26 runs kept the defense honest, though rushing was mediocre. 3.9 yards per play, negative 0.35 expected points added per rush, 50% success rate. Colts defensive weaknesses exploited, pass defense vulnerabilities, allowing 360 passing yards far exceeded their 236.5 yards per game average, highlighting issues in coverage. The Colts rank 20th in pressure rate, 27.4% entering Week 4, and while they recorded 3 sacks and 16 pressures, it wasn't enough to disrupt the Rams' rhythm, only 2.65 time to throw. Run defense strength held Rams to 102 rushing yards, close to 96 yards per game average, with 19.2% stuffed rate and no 10-plus yard runs allowed. This suggests a stout front, limiting rushing yards over expected -4 and forcing inefficient carries 1.76 yards before contact per attempt, 2.24 yards after contact per attempt. Overall pressure and blitz, 22.7% blitz rate yielded moderate success, but the Rams plus 60 yards after catch over expected indicates secondary struggles in tackling after catches. No forced turnovers in the game aligns with their 1.0 interceptions per game average. Implications and outlook. The Rams' offense overwhelmed the Colts' defense, particularly through the air. This performance boosts the Rams' rankings, e.g., number 1 in several categories post-game, showcasing Sean McVay's scheme against a defense with emerging vulnerabilities in pass rush and coverage. For future games, the Colts may need to bolster their secondary and pressure generation, e.g., relying more on defensive end Laiatu, while the Rams' balanced, efficient attack positions them well against similar defenses. Key takeaways and outlook. Overall, comparing these splits, the Indianapolis Colts defense struggles most in short yards to go under shotgun with high positive expected points added allowed across play types, likely from inadequate pressure and higher average target separation, around 3.9 yards in short overall, enabling easy conversions. Under center and short yards offers better run control but pass risks. In mid yards to go, both formations yield negative expected points. Added per play with shotgun providing elite pass defense amid run leaks and under center balancing. Both but with minor run positives. This suggests strategic adjustments like increased blitz rates in short shotgun, current overall short blitz at 45.5%, and stacked boxes, percentage of carries versus 8 or more defenders, in mid shotgun could enhance consistency, leveraging their quick pass rush get-off, 0.90, seconds in mid overall, to force more tight windows and reduce yards after catch over expected allowed. Key takeaways highlight the Indianapolis Colts defense's strengths in elite mid-yardage pass defense, generating pressure in long under-center scenarios, and low points per game allowed, reflecting overall red zone efficiency despite short yardage issues. Contributors like DeForest Buckner and Laiatu have been instrumental in recent shutouts. Weaknesses include vulnerability to runs in mid-yards to go, high rushing yards per play, and positive expected points added per rush. Overall short yardage collapses, low pressure, high touchdowns, possibly from lighter boxes or mismatches, short shotgun breakdowns, high expected points, added, low pressure, and long coverage yards after catch. The outlook positions the Colts as a surprise contender with a top 5 expected points added ranking and a high-powered offense scoring 32.6 points per game. Improving run stuffing in mid-distances, short yardage pressure and blitzes, and reducing separation in short could propel them to elite status, as demonstrated by their dominance against the Raiders when performing optimally. This unit bolsters a 4-1 record with substantial upside if gaps are addressed. Background. Lou Anarumo, nicknamed the Mad Scientist for his versatile and unpredictable schemes, was hired as the Indianapolis Colts defensive coordinator in January 2025 after 6 seasons with the Cincinnati Bengals. His Bengals defenses emphasized adaptability, pre-snap deception, e.g. showing blitz then dropping into coverage, and weekly adjustments to exploit opponents. In Cincinnati, blitz rates varied, 21 to 30% range, averaging 28.6% from 2021 to 2024, with a focus on zone coverages and increasing use of quarters behind pressures. For the Colts, Anarumo has shifted to a more aggressive, controlled chaos approach, leveraging new personnel like safety Cam Bynum from Vikings experienced in quarters pressures, and cornerback Carvarius Ward, zone specialist from 49ers. This emulates high-pressure teams like the Vikings under Brian Flores, addressing the Colts' prior passive style under Gus Bradley, lowest NFL blitz rate at 18.3% from 2022 to 2024. Blitz percentage. Anarumo's Colts have significantly increased blitzing compared to his Bengals tenure and the prior Colts regime. 2025 season through early October, approximately week 5. Total blitz rate around 41%, second in NFL after week 1 at 41.1%, third in early down blitz rate at 41.7%. Bengals comparison, 26.5% total in 2024, 14th, averaged 28.6% from 2021 to 2024, with rankings from 10th to 26th. Tendencies emphasizes varied pressures, e.g., 5-man at league average, 6-man fourth highest, 7-man seventh highest in 2024 Bengals. Uses simulated pressures, 8th in NFL in 2024, and disguises, e.g., linebackers showing blitz but dropping. Blitzes often target edges with schemes like tango, hot, and creeper. Nickel cornerbacks, e.g., Kenny Moore 2, are frequent blitzers, leading to chaos for QBs. In preseason or early season, this generated pressures at a 44.7% rate on blitzes, 5th in NFL in 2024, leveraged in 2025. Coverage use. Anarumo mixes coverages heavily to avoid predictability, with no single type exceeding 29% in his Bengals years. For the Colts, he's increased aggression while maintaining variety. Zone-heavy base. Primary use of cover 3 and cover 2 in Bengals tenure. Shifting to 2 high shells, e.g. quarters, palms behind pressures, ranking 4th in quarters. Usage behind pressure in 2024 at approximately 25%. Man coverage, expected increase in 2025, Bengals approximately 24 to 27% man rate, league average, Colts under Bradley were lower. Often pairs man with 0 blitzes, 6 to 7 rushers. 2025 specifics, high to high coverage when blitzing, 3rd in NFL at 36.1%, in 2024 Bengals, continued in Colts. More man opportunities tied to blitzes. Preseason showed diverse wrinkles like adjusted zones and man hybrids. Personnel fit. Ward excels in zone. Bynum enables Viking-style quarters pressures. Coverage type. Bengals 2021 to 2024 usage. Colts 2025 tendency. Zone, cover 3/2. Primary, approximately 50 to 60% overall. Core with 2 high emphasis. Quarters, palms, increasing 25% behind pressure. High volume behind blitzes, man cover 1. 24 to 27%. Increased, tied to aggressive blitzes. Other tendencies and strategies. Personnel and formations, low base usage, 9% in 2025, down from Bengals. High dime, 10%, career high. Focuses on swarming tackles and physicality to fix missed tackles. Colts led NFL in 2024 with 157. Develops edge rushers, e.g., Laiatu Latu compared to Bengals' Trey Hendrickson. Game planning, weekly adjustments, pre-snap deception to disguise pressures/coverages. Targets opponent weaknesses, e.g., blitzing edges versus quick pass offenses like Dolphins in Week 1. Uses nickel blitzes, e.g., Mike Hilton led CBS with 178 from 2021 to 2024. Philosophy. Keep QBs guessing via varied packages, more aggressive than Bengals due to better Colts roster. Employs 3 rusher drops into coverage for overload, famous versus Chiefs in 2021 playoffs. Weaknesses addressed, improves red zone defense. Bengals struggled at 67.9% TD rate in 2024. Focuses on takeaways and sacks. 2025 season stats, through Week 5. Points allowed, 17.8 per game, 3rd in NFL. Sacks, 14, T5th. Interceptions, 6, T4th. Takeaways, 8, T5th. Early performance, held QBs to low completion versus blitz, e.g. Week 1 versus Dolphins. Tua Tagovailoa 4-7 for 24 yards, negative 0.571 EPA per DB. Preseason opposing QBs at 42% completion. Overall top 10 in pressures/quarterback knockdowns projected.
Top performers. Samson Ebukam, ED edge defender, leads the team with 17 total pressures, 3 sacks, 5 hits, and 9 hurries. His PRP, pass rush productivity, is 10.4 overall and surges to 20.5 in true pass sets, with a 22.7% win rate against blocks and TPS, true pass sets. High snap count, 106 pass rush snaps, shows reliability. Tyquan Lewis, ED edge defender, is tied for the team lead with 3 sacks, adding 10 pressures and 7 hurries. His PRP, pass rush productivity, is 6.4, with strong TPS, true pass sets, performance featuring 11.7 PRP, pass rush productivity, and a 17.0% win rate. DeForest Buckner, DI defensive interior, has 16 pressures and a team-high 5 hits, with a PRP, pass rush productivity, of 6.3. He has a high volume with 145 pass rush snaps and a 98.6% rush rate, but his lower win rate of 12.6% indicates that efficiency gains are needed. Neville Gallimore, ED, edge defender, has 16 pressures and a PRP, pass rush productivity, of 5.1, along with a 26.9% TPS, true pass sets, win rate. He has a perfect 100% rush rate on pass snaps. Laiatu Latu, ED, edge defender, has 11 pressures and standout win rates of 24.7% overall and 32.6% in TPS. True pass sets, which is the team high, he has a high PFF, Pro Football Focus, grade of 77.1 in TPS. True pass sets, suggesting elite per snap impact despite fewer pressures. Overall performance. The Indianapolis Colts have generated 95 total pressures and 14 sacks across approximately 5 games, based on most players' game counts. This averages 19 pressures and 2.8 sacks per game, signaling a strong and disruptive unit. The interior rush from players like DeForest Buckner, Neville Gallimore, and Grover Stewart provides consistent pressure, while edge rushers such as Samson Ebukam, Tyquan Lewis, and Laiatu Latu deliver sacks and hurries. Win rates are solid with several players above 15% in TPS, true pass sets, and penalties are minimal with 8 total, mostly declined or offset. Blitz contributions from the secondary, such as Nick Cross with 2 sacks and Mike Hilton combined with Kenny Moore 2 for 2 sacks, add versatility. PFF, Pro Football Focus, grades in TPS, true pass sets, highlight efficiency, with Adetomiwa Adebawar at 80.7, though with low volume. Areas for improvement. Win rate consistency is an area for improvement, as players like DeForest Buckner with 12.6% and Grover Stewart with 3.3% have low rates, indicating struggles in beating blocks one-on-one and suggesting a focus on technique or scheme adjustments. Hurry conversion is another opportunity, with high hurries such as Samson Ebukam's 9 and Tyquan Lewis's 7, but room to turn them into sacks or hits for more quarterback disruption. Depth usage could be enhanced, as lower volume players like Adetomiwa Adebawore with 5 pressures on 65 snaps in a high 80.7 PFF, Pro Football Focus, but limited impact could see more snaps to build stamina and production. Penalty management, though low with the 8 penalties including 1 impacting play, suggests minor discipline tweaks on rushes. The Indianapolis Colts defensive coverage grades for the 2025 season highlight a mix of standout performers and areas needing improvement, based on PFF, Pro Football Focus metrics through recent games. Leading the rankings is edge defender Laiatu Latu, number 97, ED, edge defender, who has played 4 games with 108 pass snaps and 11 coverage snaps for 10.2% COV%, coverage percentage, earning an elite 94.4 coverage grade with no penalties. He faced 2 targets, allowing 2 receptions for 100% reception percentage, and 14 yards for 7.0 yards of reception, along with 10 yards after catch, a 2.0 ADOT, average depth of target, an 8-yard longest reception, 0 forced incompletes, 0 pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 0 dropped interceptions, 0 touchdowns allowed, a 56.3 NFL, National Football League, passer rating against 5.0 snaps of target, 5.0 snaps of reception, 4 tackles, 0 assists, 2 misses for 33.3% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 3 stops. Following closely is cornerback Chris Lamons, number 38, CB cornerback, with 1 game, 29 pass snaps, and 26 coverage snaps for 89.7% COV%, coverage percentage, posting an 85.2 grade and 0 penalties. He was targeted 4 times, allowing 2 receptions for 50.0% reception percentage, and 5 yards for 2.5 yards of reception, along with 4 yards after catch, and 11.8 ADOT, average depth of target, a 5-yard long, 2 forced incompletes, 0 PBUs, pass breakups, 1 interception, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 56.3 NFL, National Football League rating, 6.0 snaps of target, 12.0 snaps of reception, 1 tackle, 0 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 0 stops. Cornerback Charvarius Ward, number 7, CB, cornerback ranks 3rd, appearing in 4 games with 160 pass and coverage snaps, each for 100.0% COV percent coverage percentage, achieving an 83.0 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 16 times, he allowed 10 receptions for 62.5% reception percentage, and 67 yards for 6.7 yards of reception, along with 25 yards after catch, an 8.8 ADOT, average depth of target, an 11-yard long, 3 forced incompletes, 0 PBUs, pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 1 TD, touchdown allowed, a 71.6 NFL, National Football League rating, 9.3 snaps of target, 14.8 snaps of reception, 9 tackles, 0 assists, 3 misses for 25.0% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 3 stops. Slot corner Kenny Moore II, number 23 CB, cornerback, is 4th with 3 games, 102 pass snaps, and 87 coverage snaps for 85.3% COV percent, coverage percentage, graded at 79.1 with 0 penalties. He saw 14 targets, yielding 9 receptions for 64.3% REC percent, reception percentage, and 85 yards for 9.4 yards of reception, along with 68 yards after catch, a 4.1 ADOT, average depth of target, a 42-yard long, 1 forced incomplete, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 1 interception, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 75.0 NFL, National Football League, rating 5.8 snaps of target, 9.0 snaps of reception, 5 tackles, 1 assist, 3 misses for 37.5% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 2 stops. Safety Jonathan Edwards, number 35, CB cornerback, possibly a mislabel or hybrid role, ranks 5th with 3 games, 21 pass snaps, and 21 coverage snaps for 100.0% COV percent, coverage percentage, earning a 79.4 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 4 times, allowing 1 reception for 25.0% REC percent, reception percentage, and 16 yards for 16.0 yards of reception, along with 3 yards after catch, a 23.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 16-yard long, 2 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 1 interception, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 43.8 NFL, National Football League rating, 5.3 snaps of target, 21.0 snaps of reception, 1 tackle, 1 assist, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 0 stops. Safety Cameron Bynum, number 00, S safety, is 6th, playing 5 games with 193 pass snaps and 182 coverage snaps for 94.3% COV percent, coverage percentage, graded at 71.4 with 0 penalties. He faced 8 targets, allowing 3 receptions for 60.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 36 yards for 12.0 yards of reception, along with 25 yards after catch, a 10.4 ADOT, average depth of target, a 16-yard long, 1 forced incomplete, 2 PBUs, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 1 TD, touchdown, a 42.5 NFL, National Football League rating, 34.0 snaps of target, 56.7 snaps of reception, 10 tackles, 0 assists, 1 miss for 9.1%, MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 1 stop. Safety Rodney Thomas II, number 25, S, safety, ranks 7th, with 5 games, 46 pass snaps, and 46 coverage snaps for 100.0% COV percent, coverage percentage, posting a 71.4 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 3 times, allowing 3 receptions for 100.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 19 yards for 6.3 yards of reception, along with 15 yards after catch, a 1.3 DOT, average depth of target, an 11-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 93.1 NFL, National Football League, rating 15.0 snaps of target, 15.0 snaps of reception, 3 tackles, 2 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 1 stop. Defensive interior, Samson Ebukam, number 52, ED, edge defender, is 8th in 5 games with 117 pass snaps and 11 coverage snaps for 9.4% COV percent, graded at 66.8 with 0 penalties. He had 2 targets, allowing 2 receptions for 100.0% REC percent, reception percentage, and 19 yards for 9.5 yards of reception, along with 11 yards after catch, a 4.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 13-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 106.3 NFL, National Football League rating, 5.5 snaps of target, 5.5 snaps of reception, 4 tackles, 0 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 4 stops. Defensive tackle, DeForest Buckner, number 99, DI, defensive interior, ranks 9th with 5 games, 147 pass snaps, and 2 coverage snaps for 1.4% COV percent coverage percentage, earning a 65.2 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 0 times with no receptions or yards, but 0 in other metrics, a 0.0 NFL, National Football League, rating, 3.0 snaps of target, 3.0 snaps of reception, 3 tackles, 0 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 3 stops. Edge Tyquan Lewis, number 94, ED edge defender, is 10th, playing 5 games with 116 pass snaps and 4 coverage snaps for 3.4% COV percent, coverage percentage, graded at 63.7 with 0 penalties. He faced 1 target, allowing 1 reception for 100.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 4 yards for 4.0 yards of reception, along with 8 yards after catch, a negative 4.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 4-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 83.3 NFL, National Football League rating, 3.0 snaps of target, 3.0 snaps of reception, 0 tackles, 1 assist, 1 miss for 50.0%, MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 3 stops. Safety Daniel Scott, number 32, S, safety ranks 11th, with 2 games, 13 pass snaps, and 13 coverage snaps for 100.0% COV percent, coverage percentage, posting a 63.1 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 1 time, allowing 1 reception for 100.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 3 yards for 3.0 yards of reception, along with 0 yards after catch, a 3.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 3-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 79.2 NFL, National Football League rating, 13.0 snaps of target, 13.0 snaps of reception, 1 tackle, 0 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 1 stop. Linebacker Sequan Alubi, number 50. Linebacker is 12th in one game with 2 pass snaps and 2 coverage snaps for 100.0% COV percent. Coverage percentage graded at 61.0 with 0 penalties. Targeted 0 times with no receptions or yards. A 0.0 NFL, National Football League rating, 13.0 snaps of target, 13.0 snaps of reception, 0 tackles, 0 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 0 stops. Safety Nick Cross, number 20, S. Safety ranks 13 with 5 games, 194 pass snaps, and 180 coverage snaps for 92.8% CO percent. Coverage percentage earning a 58.2 grade and 1 penalty. Targeted 14 times, allowing 8 receptions for 57.1% REC percent, reception percentage, and 89 yards for 11.1 yards of reception, along with 25 yards after catch, and 11.4 ADOT, average depth of target, a 23-yard long, 1 forced incomplete, 0 PBUs, pass breakups, 1 interception, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 7 TDs, touchdowns, likely a typo or aggregate, individual TD 0, a 100.0 NFL, National Football League rating, 11.8 snaps of target, 20.6 snaps of reception, 12 tackles, 2 assists, 0 misses for 0.0%, MIS percent, and 7 stops. Linebacker Trey Washington, number 41, S, safety, hybrid, is 14th in one game with 7 pass snaps and 7 coverage snaps for 100.0% CO percent. Coverage percentage, graded at 57.3 with 0 penalties. Targeted 2 times, allowing 2 receptions for 100.0% REC percent, reception percentage, and 14 yards for 7.0 yards of reception, along with 12 yards after catch, a 1.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 9-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 95.8 NFL, National Football League, rating, 3.5 snaps of target, 3.5 snaps of reception, 1 tackle, 2 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 0 stops. Cornerback Chad Muma, number 55, linebacker ranks 15th with 3 games, 16 pass snaps, and 15 coverage snaps for 93.8% COV percent, coverage percentage, posting a 56.9 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 1 time, allowing 1 reception for 100.0% REC percent, reception percentage, and 11 yards for 11.0 yards of reception, along with 5 yards after catch, a 6.0 ADOT, average depth of target, an 11-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 112.5 NFL, National Football League rating, 15.0 snaps of target, 15.0 snaps of reception, 1 tackle, 0 assists, 0 misses for 0.0% MIS percent, and 1 stop. Cornerback Mike Hilton, number 33, CB, cornerback, is 16th in 2 games, 41 pass snaps, and 39 coverage snaps for 95.1% COV percent, coverage percentage, graded at 56.6 with 0 penalties. Targeted 3 times, allowing 2 receptions for 66.7% REC reception percentage, and 7 yards for 3.5 yards of reception, along with 1 yard after catch, a 0.7 ADOT, average depth of target, a 5-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 1 PBU, pass breakup, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 70.1 NFL, National Football League rating, 11.7 snaps of target, 17.5 snaps of reception, 2 tackles, 1 assist, 1 miss for 25.0% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 1 stop. Cornerback Mekhi Blackman, number 29, CB, cornerback ranks 17 with 5 games, 145 pass snaps, and 145 coverage snaps for 100% COV percent. Coverage percentage, earning a 54.9 grade and 2 penalties. Targeted 16 times, allowing 11 receptions for 68.8% REC percent. Reception percentage, and 194 yards for 17.6 yards of reception, along with 78 yards after catch, an 11.0 ADOT, average depth of target, an 88-yard long, 1 forced incomplete, 1 PBU, pass breakup, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 6 TDs, touchdowns, a 104.7 NFL, National Football League, rating, 8.4 snaps of target, 12.3 snaps of reception, 16 tackles, 2 assists, 2 misses for 10.0% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 5 stops. Linebacker Zaire Franklin, number 44, LB. Linebacker is 18th in 5 games, 197 pass snaps, and 167 coverage snaps for 84.8% COV percent, coverage percentage, graded at 48.0 with 2 penalties. Targeted 24 times, allowing 18 receptions for 75.0% ER percent, reception percentage, and 153 yards for 8.5 yards of reception, along with 103 yards after catch, a 3.3 ADOT, average depth of target, a 17-yard long, 2 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 2 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 8 TDs, touchdowns, a 91.1 NFL, National Football League, rating 6.4 snaps of target, 8.6 snaps of reception, 15 tackles, 7 assists, 2 misses for 8.3% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 5 stops. Linebacker Jay Batchy, number 48, LB. Linebacker ranks 19th with 5 games, 89 pass snaps, and 79 coverage snaps for 88.8% COV percent. Coverage percentage, posting a 46.6 grade and 2 penalties. Targeted 17 times, allowing 17 receptions for 100.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 166 yards for 9.8 yards of reception, along with 75 yards after catch. A 5.4 AEDOT, average depth of target, a 29-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 107.4 NFL, National Football League, rating 4.4 snaps of target, 4.4 snaps of reception, 10 tackles, 2 assists, 1 miss for 7.7% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 6 stops. Cornerback Adisa Ajake, number 58, linebacker hybrid, is 20th in 4 games, 65 pass snaps, and 63 coverage snaps for 96.9% scum percent, graded at 43.9 with 0 penalties. Targeted 5 times, allowing 5 receptions for 100.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 30 yards for 6.0 yards of reception, along with 23 yards after catch, a 5.4 ADOT, average depth of target, a 10-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 109.4 NFL National Football League rating, 7.0 snaps of target, 11.2 snaps of reception, 3 tackles, 1 assist, 1 miss for 20.0% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 0 stops. Cornerback Kevin Howard, number 4, CB, cornerback ranks 21st, with 4 games, 141 pass snaps, and 141 coverage snaps for 100% COV percent, coverage percentage, earning a 34.2 grade and 4 penalties. Targeted 12 times, allowing 16 receptions. Receptions 16 greater than targets 12. Possible data error, 72.7%. REC percent reception percentage listed for 195 yards for 12.2 yards of reception, along with 62 yards after catch. A 8.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 31-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDS, touchdowns, a 139.2 NFL National Football League rating, 5.9 snaps of target, 8.1 snaps of reception, 8 tackles, 1 assist, 2 misses for 18.2% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 1 stop. Edge Quady Pay number 51, ED edge defender, is 22nd in 5 games, 110. Pass snaps and 12 coverage snaps for 10.9% COV percent, coverage percentage, graded at 32.0 with 0 penalties. Targeted 1 time, allowing 1 reception for 100.0% rec percent, reception percentage, and 17 yards for 17.0 yards of reception, along with 13 yards after catch, a 4.0 ADOT, average depth of target, a 17-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 2 TDs, touchdowns, high for 1 reception, a 118.8 NFL National Football League rating, 11.0 snaps of target, 11.0 snaps of reception, 0 tackles, 0 assists, 1 miss for 100.0% MIS percent, and 1 stop. Finally, linebacker Cameron McGrone, number 59, ED edge defender, possibly mislabel, ranks 23rd with 3 games, 32 pass snaps, and 27 coverage snaps for 84.4% COV percent, posting a 27.5 grade and 0 penalties. Targeted 4 times, allowing 3 receptions for 75.0% receipt percent, reception percentage, and 30 yards for 10.0 yards of reception, along with 37 yards after catch, a 4.8 ADOT, average depth of target, a 19-yard long, 0 forced incompletes, 0 PBUS, pass breakups, 0 interceptions, 0 DRI, dropped interceptions, 0 TDs, touchdowns, a 135.4 NFL National Football League rating, 6.5 snaps of target, 8.7 snaps of reception, 0 tackles, 0 assists, 1 miss for 100.0% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 0 stops. Team totals across 14 games include 1,644 pass snaps, 1,119 coverage snaps for 72.0% COVID percent, 174 targets, 124 receptions for 71.3% REC percent, 1,174 yards for 9.5 yards of reception, 603 yards after catch, an 8.8 ADOT, average depth of target, an 88-yard long, 13 forced incompletes, 6 PBUs, pass breakups, 11 interceptions, 1 DRI, dropped interception, 21 TDS, touchdowns allowed, a 92.9 NFL National Football League rating, 8.0 snaps of target, 10.9 snaps of reception, 109 tackles, 21 assists, 22 misses for 16.8% MIS percent, missed tackle percentage, and 47 stops.